Yep. What up? What up, everybody? Harry and Comfort Studios. Thank you for the host and the raid. Got raided as soon as I got on, but yeah, I'm just hanging out. Don't really have a specific plan. I'm just gonna hang out with the chat for a little bit. As per the title, my birthday is next week, and I usually stream on my birthday, but I don't know if I'm gonna have an opportunity to do that, so I wanted to do it a week before because I'm going out of town. What up, Powerfly? What up, Wes? I mean, I assume that's Wes. Everybody see and hear me all right? I haven't streamed in a little while, but that's kind of always the case. But I'm thinking about getting back into streaming more often because YouTube seems like they're like finally starting to add features that, you know, like live streaming features, things like gifting subs and rating and hosting and stuff. So, you know, and I stream on Twitch and YouTube, but most of my audience is on YouTube, so it's kind of it kind of encourages me to start streaming a little bit more. But yeah, welcome. What's up, Uzmub? What's up, Impatient Ape? Is the music too loud? Sometimes I feel like people say the music is too loud. Probably, I doubt I'm gonna stream like super long or anything. I just want to, just wanted to touch base with the chat. Haven't talked to y'all in a minute. Want to see what's going on, how you're feeling. Your birthday's the 28th. Dope. Mine's the 29th. But my goal is I'm planning like a birthday weekend. I always like when my birthday's on the weekend, because then I just like it's time to party all weekend basically. Yeah, my plan is I'm having a little I mean, I call it a getaway, but it's, you know, I'm like just going to a lake that's like 40 minutes away, but hanging out with some friends for a weekend. Have I seen Shankshaw Redemption? Do you mean Shawshank Redemption? Is Shankshaw Redemption something else? Is that like the porn version? I've seen the Shawshank Redemption. I barely remember what happens in that movie though. I've probably only seen it once. finally I just watched through the ads for you. I always forget that there's ads. I feel like, does there need to be ads on the stream? I feel like I don't have enough viewers to justify ads. Whatever. I guess I'll take like the $3 or something or whatever I get from it. I wonder if the ads make people not watch the stream, make people click off. They probably do. I know on Twitch, a lot of times when I go on a stream and there's an ad, I just like click off because I don't feel like watching the ad. There's a goth video game channel I watch, and his ads are 3-hour-long Bible sermons. 3-hour-long Bible sermons. Thank you, Stood Muffin. I'm getting old, y'all. I wonder if it's worth it to do, like, you know, I do like the timer at the beginning of the stream. I assume, I mean, the reason I do that is because I feel like it gives people time to like prepare for the beginning of the stream. But I don't know if, I feel like that may be another thing that causes people to click off. Like, probably people just want you to be live when it says you're live, you know? I look like I'm just discovering that I'm on camera. How so? In what way? I don't think I understand. You like the clock, it builds anticipation. Fair enough. Thank you, Gabby. Your birthday's tomorrow, Fid. Dope. I know a lot of people whose birthdays are in May. Like, or at least around this time, like May or June, like late May, early June. The pre-live thing caught me this time, otherwise I would have jumped off YouTube. Okay, well maybe I'll keep the timer. You looked around rapidly for a second like you were trying to find where it was. Oh. I think it's just I'm looking back and forth through my monitors. Because the chat is right here in this monitor, but over here is my other monitor where there's other stuff going on, like the dashboards for the streams and stuff that's over here, and also other windows, the internet and stuff that I might want to look at. And the camera is in the middle here. I'm probably gonna like change my streaming setup a little bit. I want to like get I need more space because I want to get like a better lighting setup. What we talking about today? I mean, whatever people are interested in talking about. I haven't streamed in a while, so I just wanted to just chill with chat for a second. I didn't really have any particular plans, but usually conversation gets struck up, and if not, that's fine too. Am I feeling fatigued of superhero movies and TV shows? The only thing I'm interested in is Amazon's Invincible and The Boys. Well, I can say for me personally, I'm definitely not fatigued of it. I love it. Maybe it's just because that's just always been my shit. I grew up reading comics and I've always loved comics, and now that we're living in this era where the comics that I love growing up are being made into all these amazing shows and movies, I can't get enough of it, honestly. Especially when we're talking about the MCU, because the MCU has just created this sort of cohesive universe, and it's just really fun to be in that community and make theories and talk about what's gonna happen. Like, I think that's really fun. I actually have not watched The Boys. I've been meaning to watch The Boys for a while, and I just keep forgetting about it. Invincible was really good, though. It's interesting. Like, I remember when Invincible first came out. I watched the first couple episodes, and I wasn't that into it. But by the end, I was like hooked. Like, they really sucked me in after a few episodes. You have to wait for November for your birthday. Well, it's around the corner. I mean, not really, but it'll definitely be here before you know it. Am I a fan of the Ghost in the Shell movies and anime spin-offs? I've seen Ghost in the Shell. The only Ghost in the Shell stuff I've seen is the original movie and the anime Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, and I like both of those things. I've seen bits and pieces of the live action movie too, which is honestly fine. I think a lot of people were hating on it, but I think it's fine. It's not like amazing, but it's fine. The original Ghost in the Shell movie is a masterpiece, though, in my opinion. It's like one of the best things ever made. Ghost in the Shell standalone complex is cool. I think it's fine. But the original movie, I think, is like super good. Am I fatigued about the multiverse craze right now? Not really. You're talking about MCU multiverse? Because again, like that kind of stuff, I love that kind of stuff. I wonder if the MCU is going to make their lore so convoluted that it no longer makes sense. Because I think they've done a decent job of having it make sense so far, but it's starting to get so crazy and convoluted that it might just jump off a cliff into just nonsensical territory, much like the comics do. Like, you know, when you read comics, you sort of take for granted that a lot of it is just not going to make that much sense, and they're going to retcon stuff all the time, and you're just okay with that. But in the movie universes, well, particularly in the MCU, they have done a decent job of having it make sense. And there's a few plot holes here and there, but they have rarely retconned anything, and if they have, it's been like a very soft retcon. Like, everything that has happened is still canon for the most part. Like, they've done a pretty good job about that. But yeah, Ghost in the Shell, really good. And I'm not like a big anime guy at all. I don't know that much about anime, especially anime that has come out in the last 10 years or so, but stuff that was out when I was younger, that's kind of the stuff that I know. Ghost in the Shell is one of those things. I tend to enjoy the book comic version more than the movie one. What do you prefer? It depends on what we're talking about, I guess. Like some movies are good and some are less good, and some comics are good and some comics are less good. And I mean, if we're talking about like books, like novels, probably novels are usually better than movies that are based on novels, but it just depends. Because again, there are novels that are bad. Like, I've never read 50 Shades of Grey in full. I've read excerpts of it because I used to work at the library and they had it there. And from what I've read, the movie is better than the book. That's a god-awful book. But the movie is okay. The movie's not like great, but it's like, it's watchable. Oh, what up, Austin? I'm gonna be honest, the Ghost in the Shell live action movie wasn't complete trash for an anime. Yeah, I don't know. People talk so much shit about it, but I was like, this seems fine to me. I don't know. I mean, I know people were mad that fucking Scarlett Johansson was playing the main character, but it's like, whatever. I did a video about that sort of thing, though, if anyone's interested. It's called whitewashing versus blackwashing in movies, I think, or in media. I forgot what I titled my own video. I thought they jumped the shark in game, but I really enjoyed Doctor Strange. I don't know. I love all that shit. My birthday's on May 29th. But happy early birthday to you, Shinra. You should watch Attack on Titan or try Death Note. Yeah, both of those shows have been recommended to me before. Maybe I'll check them out at some point. I'm enjoying all the multiverse stuff because hopefully by the end of this we can stop hearing about race swaps and crap like that and people just assume any new characters in a new universe. I mean, I wouldn't hold my breath on people complaining about race swaps or on people not complaining about race swaps, I should say. I wouldn't hold my breath if that's going to happen. The newer standalone I didn't even know there was a newer standalone complex here. Starship Troopers film blows the book out of the water. I've never read the book, but I like the movie a lot. What up, Ashton? I'm like hesitant when it comes to anime. I'm sure there's a lot of great anime, but there's a lot of like tropes within anime that I feel are just kind of weird and that takes me out of them. Like a lot of them are really strangely paced. Like an anime will literally have a whole episode where nothing happens, which is like, what the fuck did I just watch? And I mean, I guess it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just like, it's strange. And it doesn't apply to all anime, but a lot of anime seems to pride itself on being like very esoteric and hard to understand. And that, you know, that's not unique to anime or Japanese media, but it's not really my favorite thing. Jujutsu Kaisen is tight, so is Mob Psycho 100. Literally, I've never heard of either of those, but I'm sure there's a lot of things that I haven't heard of. There's actually, like, you know, if you look on just like Netflix or something, there's a bunch of anime that I've never heard of before. I feel like with the pacing anime, like One Piece, I definitely like that, which I love as well. One Piece is an interesting thing because there's like, isn't there like 800 episodes of that or something? Maybe even more than that. Like, how do you make that many episodes of a show? Like 60% of it has to be filler, right? Like, I used to be really into Naruto. That's an anime that I watched a lot. And there's like, you know, there's a couple hundred episodes of that, and like a lot of it is filler. But the good episodes are really good. Do you think the next Daredevil season on Disney Plus is going to be any good? I feel like they're going to water down the characters and make it PG-13, like the Kingpin in Hawkeye. Spoilers, by the way, for Hawkeye. I don't know. I mean, I think it'll probably be good. It's hard to imagine that it will be as sort of gritty and good as the original Daredevil season. But so far, I think all of the Disney Plus shows have been like good to great. So it'll probably be good. But to me, like, the original Daredevil show is like one of the greatest shows ever made. It's so good. And it's especially more impressive because it came out before all this big MCU blow up, really. And it definitely came out before all these new superhero shows. So it kind of set the precedent for a TV show about a superhero. At least for like a mature TV show about a superhero. So will it be as good? I'm kind of doubting it. But it's possible that, you know, they might just bring in a lot of the same people and just make it the same. But I don't know if they'll do that. Like, you know, like Moon Knight was a little bit grittier than other shows. So they might be like gradually making their way towards a grittier show, but we'll see. Thanks, Bob. I found there were so many subgenres of anime. It took a lot of guidance to find stuff I liked and screen out the stuff. That's another thing too. There's a lot of genres. Like when I talk about the anime that I find kind of distasteful or unappealing, it's usually like shonen type stuff. And I know that there's a lot of other types of anime. The hard to understand shit was really big in the 90s with anime, but they've evolved way past that storytelling wise nowadays. Most anime are pretty straightforward story wise with complete endings. And it's 1200, Jesus. Well, that's good to know. Because that was like one of my big things with anime, at least, you know, in my past experience. It's like, why are these shows so weird and confusing? I've never seen Bleach. Have not seen the new Proud Family either. What's up, Myth? Yeah, long time no stream. What's up, Autumn? My brother has been making me watch One Punch Man, so that's a semi-recent one that I haven't. I mean, I haven't. I'm like 3 episodes into season 2, but I did watch the entirety of season 1, and it's pretty fine, pretty cool. It's not like confusing, but they are playing sort of fast and loose with telling you what the hell's going on. But I wouldn't say it's confusing. So, it's also pretty funny, which I like. I can enjoy a funny show. What's up, Nelson? I've got a much better background today. Isn't it like mostly a white wall? What was it before? A show at 1,200 episodes has to jump the shark at some point. Yeah, well, it is, I think, or I mean, I've never seen One Piece, but when I think about shows, I can't even think of another show that is that long besides like fucking like soap operas or like Doctor Who or something, which I don't even think has anywhere near that many episodes. But I think it's just the people who make the show have figured out what their viewers like and just keeps giving them that over and over again. Like, I would imagine they're not really breaking new ground. Probably they're not taking creative risks. Probably they're probably like, this is what people like, let's just do that 1,200 times. And I guess there's nothing wrong with that. I use the example of Naruto though, because Naruto was actually like building this like really cool kind of story and growth of the protagonist and stuff, and then for like a good 100 episodes it was just all filler that had nothing to do with any narrative. It was just all these like random one-shot episodes that really didn't matter, and a lot of times were kind of boring. I don't know if One Piece does that, but that was kind of disappointing because they kind of started a story and then just completely interrupted it for 100 episodes. But eventually they came back around and I guess finished the story. I have seen. I watched Dragon Ball Z growing up because it was cool in middle school to watch Dragon Ball Z, and I've seen a lot of Dragon Ball Super, but I haven't seen all of it. Is Dragon Ball Super still on? Do they still make episodes for that? Yeah, I feel like trying to start One Piece now would just be too daunting of a task. Although it's not quite the same. I don't know. Well, I think so. Like, I watch Critical Role, the D&D show, and each episode of that is like 4 hours long. And I had to catch up with it when I first discovered it. And so I literally watched like something like 84-hour episodes, and I just binged that shit because I really wanted to catch up with the story. So that's kind of a similar undertaking. I still don't think it equals up to 1,200 episodes of One Piece though. Filler happens when the anime catches up to the physical manga and they have to either do reruns or send the characters to the beach. Yeah, that's right. I always forget like most anime is pretty much based on manga or manga. I'll let the purists correct me. They're about to release a new movie for Super, then I think a new season might start after. One Punch Man is great. Gray and pink looks really good on you. I appreciate that. This shirt is I don't know if any of you checked out when I was playing Vampire the Masquerade on my buddy Wes's stream, which Wes was actually in here earlier. I don't know if he still is, but this was actually like merch for that game. It was because my character had a cat named Watson. First anime I ever watched was Sailor Moon. I actually remember the very first, I didn't know this at the time. I didn't even have a concept of what anime was, but the very first anime I have ever seen was Ronin Warriors, I believe is what it's called. It just happened to be on TV one time. And it's like not even that good, but back then I was like, man, what is this? This is kind of cool. But that's just I happen to know the very first anime that I've ever seen. I'm a Ukrainian living in the US, and I'm curious if the America's view of my country had changed this year, because last year most could hardly locate it on the map. Well, I don't think that people like are more, well, that's not true. I mean, I don't think people like know any more about what's going on or like what it's like to live in Ukraine than they did before, but I think more people are definitely aware of Ukraine, aware of the fact that it exists, obviously. And I would say that probably most Americans are sympathetic to Ukrainians, when before probably were indifferent. So I mean, Pokemon definitely counts as an anime, but Pokemon has crossed over into just mainstream. It's kind of like calling Studio Ghibli movies anime. It's like, I feel like they kind of transcend that at this point, you know? Oh, I do remember Samurai Pizza Cats. My first anime was Star Blazers. I don't think I've ever heard of that. Yeah, I remember, because in high school I had a few friends that were into anime, so I watched a lot of the ones that were popular at the time, like Trigun and Cowboy Bebop, and all the ones that came on Cartoon Network, like Outlaw Star and fucking Inuyasha. So I've seen a lot of those just because I was exposed to them because they came on TV and stuff. For the record, I'm more than aware of my white privilege, kind of shocked by it too. Yeah, well, I mean, that was a common thing, is how a common talking point that people brought up was how everyone was there was like a good video where it was like you know, people were talking about an overseas war and no one was, it's like, yeah, war happens, it sucks, but what can you do? And it's like, it's white people this time. It's like, oh shit, everyone get ready. My man love the content. I was wondering if you've seen Atlanta. In your opinion, I've seen the first season of Atlanta, and I think it's really good. But I haven't really seen most of it. Do I consider ATLA? What is ATLA? Oh, Avatar. Yeah, Avatar Last Emperor. Well, isn't like the main. Well, what it is isn't Avatar? Avatar is animated, isn't it? Japanese animation. Hold on. But I mean, I think for something to be anime, it has to be Japanese, right? Well, no, that's not true actually, because there's like American shows that I would consider. Like for example, I think the Boondocks is an anime, even though it's an American show. So I don't know. The thing is, Avatar: The Last Airbender is. I feel like it looks like a Western show, in my opinion. It doesn't look like an anime to me. Like it looks, it's obviously like inspired by that sort of thing. Well, I don't know if that's true. I'm like looking at pictures of it now. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a Western show to me. I think the art style matters. Well, I mean, it's probably animated overseas, but like most cartoons are. That doesn't really matter. Have I been playing any new games lately? Nope. I've been playing Overwatch. I don't know, man. I'm like, I don't play anything anymore, and I feel bad about it. I'm trying to like get back into games. The only things I play are Overwatch, Street Fighter, and chess. That's literally all I play. But one day I'm gonna get back into the habit of playing games, because I kind of miss games, but I just never play them. I never can really psych myself up enough to actually pop on a game and play it. So you can do, I think there's different ways you can describe what anime is. You can describe it from a technical standpoint. It's like anything that is animated in Japan and made by Japanese people is anime. Or you can do it by like the style and the tropes and stuff. So a certain type of art style, certain anime themes and tropes. But to me, Avatar: The Last Airbender is not made in Japan, and it doesn't really have an anime art style. Maybe people disagree with that. It's like close, but it still looks more Western to me. But then you have another show, like I mentioned, the Boondocks. I think the Boondocks is clearly an anime art style, but it's not a Japanese show. So you can decide whether that makes it not an anime or not. Did I play the Overwatch 2 beta? Nope, I did not get in the Overwatch 2 beta, which is kind of sad. I think I used to get in all the Blizzard betas, but I think they stopped sending me keys because I don't play WoW every day like I used to. So I'm just not giving them enough money, so they don't invite me to betas anymore. But I'm sure the public beta will be here at some point. I might pick up that new Evil Dead game. Yeah, I've heard Josh talking about that. Can't find a PS5. Are you asking me? I've been, well, I mean, I definitely can't find a PS5. It's still, they're still hard to get. But I was, once I moved into my new apartment, which I did a few months ago, I was saying I was gonna get a PS5, but if I had one, I probably wouldn't even be playing it. I just sit on my PC all day. But I'm trying to, you know, break out and do more stuff. Like, I entertain myself by watching YouTube all day pretty much. But, you know, I want to become more cultured. I want to like watch more shows. The only movies I watch are MCU movies. The only TV shows I watch are Marvel shows. Like, I need to like branch out and like actually start watching and playing stuff. If I picked up any new hobbies / interest in quarantine. Not new. I wouldn't say anything new, but I have gone harder in things that I was already interested in, like cooking, for example. And chess. I've been playing a lot of chess. So those are two examples, but I was already interested in those things. I wouldn't describe them as new hobbies. What's up, Zach? Thank you, Dr. Tyga, for the birthday wishes. PS5s aren't real. How long have I been growing out my hair? Well, the last time that I had a haircut was about 12 years ago. What's up, Falchion? Thank you for the birthday wishes. What I've been playing chess on, I play on chess.com and LiveStream. I mainly play on chess.com, I guess. I use Lichess to kind of, I like care less about my rating on Lichess, so I just use that to kind of practice. And when I'm like actually trying to like gain rating, I play on chess.com. But I also have I have a physical chessboard at home, and sometimes people come over and play me, but it's rare. Especially when you get to, like, if you play against people who don't play a lot and don't practice a lot, it's like really easy to win, and then people like don't want to play you anymore. Oh wait, this is a good chance to use. I've been meaning to use the poll feature on YouTube. I can't do a poll on Twitch because you have to be a fucking affiliate to use, or a partner. Did that work? I've never used the poll before. I just wanted to see if it works. Haven't played chess in ages. Used to be half decent. If you used to be half decent, probably a lot of that skill is retained. A lot of it is just recognizing patterns, and I think a lot of that stuff your brain just kind of remembers. You said in Discord that nowadays you're more focused on the effect of your words than just only sharing your principles. Do you think many focus too much on just shouting their opinion? Curiosity Lexence Fun, thank you for the super chat. 279 Canadian, is that what that is? Thank you very much. Thank you for the birthday wishes. But yeah, I mean, I've said this for a long time, Myth. I think opinions are super overrated. Like, nobody gives a shit about your opinion, really. Like, it's fine to have opinions, and opinions are interesting, but I think people put too much stock in their own opinions, when I think people should focus more on, like, I don't know, like making the world a better place. Like, I don't know. It's like, I'm not really explaining what I mean in the best way, but like, yeah, people care more about making sure people know what they think about stuff. They care more about that than whether or not the things that they say might actually be harmful. Even if they don't mean it to be harmful, things can still be harmful, and I think people should care about that. But I think sometimes people knowingly say things that are harmful just out of principle, because they think that their opinions are their opinions are worth it. It's worth the harm because people must know my opinions. People not willing to play with you is the downside of getting good. Have you had similar experiences with Street Fighter? To some extent, but I normally only play Street Fighter online, so I get matched against people who are usually around the same skill level as me, if not better. But occasionally I'll play someone offline, and again, most people don't practice Street Fighter, so it's pretty easy to beat them. But you know, occasionally I think some people have a competitive spirit, and some people are motivated when they lose in games, and that's kind of how I am. Like, I don't like losing at stuff, so if someone beats me a bunch of times, that just makes me want to learn how to get good. So occasionally you run into someone like that, and so they'll keep playing you and keep losing until like they learn a few things, and then maybe it can be more of a challenge. I agree. I mean, Nelson, I think it's clear that Avatar is inspired by anime, and is kind of a love letter to anime for sure. Yeah. What's up, Hallie? It's something we can all have a tendency to fall trapped to, like you said, focusing too much on spouting one's opinion without it actually being helpful to anyone. Yeah, I mean, I'm not immune to that myself, but it's something I try to think about a lot. I feel like, myself included, people can feel like they aren't valued for anything else but their opinion. At least most other things about us are replaceable, so people can feel pressured to have them. I suppose so. I mean, it's something I think about a lot, because when you have a platform, a lot of people want to hear your opinion, which is fine. But I also need people to know that I'm just one dude, and my opinion is not any more valid than anyone else's. And in fact, that's one of the reasons why I like sort of having these kind of conversations, because a lot of times there's people like in the chat I'm reading now that are just way more informed about certain things than I am, I just happen to be the one with the fucking microphone, you know? So I think I try to keep that in mind. I think everyone should try to keep that in mind as well. Do I play Smash these days? Only when people want to play, because playing Smash online is miserable. I fucking hate it. Like, they just refuse to improve their netcode, and or you know, it's just very laggy and hard to play, and I hate it, so I just don't do it. But you know, when people want to play offline, I'm always down to play Smash. So I love Smash. Smash is sort of, it's like the game that defines me. But the online sucks, so I'm hoping that somehow, like, the community can somehow fix the online, like mod the game somehow, just fix the online. If they did that, I would play every day. If it had good online, I would play Smash every day. I'm only good at shooters. You personally know how many thousands of hours I've dumped into Counter-Strike and Apex over the years. Yeah, I'm historically not good at shooters. I play a lot of Overwatch, and I'm hopefully I can use that to learn, because Overwatch is definitely easier than most other FPSs, or at least mechanically easier. I don't know if it's like competitively easier, but it's mechanically easier. So hopefully that can ease me into like learning other games. Like, a lot of people are trying to get me to play Valorant, and I was like, man, it looks hard. I'm not good enough. Being overly focused on spouting one's own opinion, I've noticed, can also get in the way of being introspective and actually having the capacity to listen to other views and experiences. Absolutely. I think that's something that everyone should just try every now and then. Like, whenever you're in a conversation or you hear someone saying something and you have a very strong opinion on that topic, just try like listening instead of talking, and just see if perhaps your perspective can be widened even a little bit. It's unlikely that you're going to have your mind completely changed on something that you're very convinced of, but I think it is very likely that you could have your perspective made wider just by listening to someone. I love that people who are just joining the stream, who weren't here for the previous conversation, will now see this poll on YouTube. For those that are watching on Twitch, I put a poll up on YouTube that says, is Avatar the Last Airbender an anime? So a lot of people are just gonna see that and be like, what the fuck? Why is that the poll? I would put it up on Twitch, but I don't know. I have to be an affiliate, and I'm not an affiliate. Which I need to check. I need to double check the affiliate. One of the reasons I haven't tried to get affiliate is because once you become affiliate, you can't dual stream anymore, and that's dumb. But I've heard that they're going to be removing that exclusivity. That may be just for partners, maybe not affiliates, but I need to check. But I mean, I'm not gonna stop streaming on YouTube just to get affiliate on Twitch. Like, that's whack. And I'm probably not. I think it just makes more sense to do both. Who should be the next character to be put in Smash? Well, I don't think there's going to be any more characters in Smash. Maybe in the next Smash, if there is a next Smash. But there's a lot of people that were wanted. Like Master Chief is a big one that people wanted. I want Geno from Super Mario RPG. If they ever put Geno in, I'm good. They've included like almost anything I could have asked for. YouTube has now started trying to anger bait me with suggestions. I swear the third video suggestion in the list is always something that tries to push my buttons. I never click, but keeps trying. It keeps trying. Yeah, I don't know. The YouTube algorithm is weird because sometimes the suggestions are based on things that you have watched, but sometimes it's just YouTube just trying to push stuff on you. Because either, I don't know why, because they think you'll like it, or just because it's just widely popular. Like, for example, I keep getting suggested videos from the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, even though I have never clicked on any of them. I just think YouTube is like, everybody is so interested in this, so you must be as well. You said in one of your old videos that you widen your perspective on guns from listening to other gun sports. That's true. Absolutely true. And again, it didn't really change my mind. I'm like pretty anti-gun, but I understand more where gun owners are coming from than I did before. Dude, I 100% agree with listening to other people's opinions on things, even if you don't agree with it or what they're saying. Yeah, I mean, listen, sometimes people say dumb shit. I don't want to make it seem like everyone who has an opinion means that their opinion is valid or should be listened to. Sometimes people say dumb shit that you don't need to listen to. But a lot of times people at least you can see where they're coming from, even if you don't agree. Hey, T1G is T1J is the world your oyster? Well, I guess so. What's up, rabbit dude? Do you think that we should create new movies with diverse characters, or add diverse characters to movies that are well known for example, making James Bond black? Why not both? In Smash, I always play with Mii fighters. That's fair. I think they're pretty good in Smash Ultimate. A lot of Avatar fans want Avatar in Smash. Hey, you've got Avatar in Smash. Just play Nick All Stars, whatever it's called. Why can't I say this? Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. It has Ong in it. And fucking Toph. I wish they would put Sailor Moon in Tuxedo Mask in Smash. I've seen everyone talking about Johnny Amber. Person haven't followed it, but definitely have seen tons of memes poking fun at Amber. Yeah, the internet is coming down hard at Amber, which I don't mean to like really start a big conversation about this, but it is a bit weird that everyone is like just going in on Amber and kind of making it seem like Johnny Depp is just the completely innocent guy here, which obviously they clearly both were pretty shitty to each other. Like, I think that's pretty clear. So it's not like Johnny Depp was some innocent bystander that was just being abused and you know wasn't a part of the drama. I'm open to listening to opinions as long as that person isn't saying anything harmful, I guess. Well, I mean, the problem is you could just say that everything that you disagree with is harmful. So that means that you never listen to anyone that you disagree with. Sometimes we can very well actually be the one saying it's dumb and may in the moment never think of it as being dumb shit. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not immune to saying dumb. I have definitely said dumb shit before. What do you think of? I really don't know how to pronounce that name. Being cast in Doctor Who, he's a black LGBTQ actor. I think it's good representation. Sure, I'm always down for more minorities on TV. Personally, I'm pro-gun because guns aren't the problem. People who use it are the problem. I don't agree, but I don't know if we want to go down that road. I feel like the internet chose that they were going to be against Amber from the get-go. There was opinions weren't going to change. Well, yeah, I mean, the internet has been looking for something like this, like, because there's been, you know, there's obviously been so many instances of women talking about men being abusers and stuff, and I think the internet is like, finally a woman has done it. We're gonna go so hard on this woman because women do it too. I think people have been just like pumped for something like this to happen. I feel pretty torn on gun rights. On one hand, I know that guns are dangerous and restricting them will stop a lot of unnecessary deaths. On the other hand, the alt-right being so well armed has me spooked, and I don't want progressives to be at their mercy. All right, Curiosity, thanks for stopping by. Are you leaving? So the premise of the idea that the right has guns, so that means that the left should have guns too. The premise of that is that having guns protects you from other people that have guns, which I think is a false premise. I think it just makes everything more violent, and it makes you less protected. Uzmub, thanks for checking out the stream. I'm not much of a fan of changing the race of a well-known character, like if Doctor Strange was made black, but I think it would be cool if he passed the title to a POC. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't care, but I also don't care as much about whitewashing as other people do. I mean, I think ultimately it's a negative thing because when you have a chance for more diversity and more representation, you should probably take it. Like, it's probably a negative thing if you have an opportunity to do that and you don't take it. But I don't care that much, dude. But I especially don't care when they change a white person to a black character or a person of color. It's like, cool. Basically, I'm like, hey, a black person is getting some work. That's dope. I mean, I think anti-gun people do need to acknowledge that, guns, at least in America, are probably never going away. And if they are, it's not anytime soon, not in our lifetimes. So we need to figure out like a more practical solution to gun violence. And that solution is not necessarily just like super strict gun control laws, because that doesn't always work. You have to be smart about it. Wong it needs a movie. Yeah. I would be very surprised if they gave Wong a movie, although I would not be surprised if they gave Wong a TV show. If we could just disarm everyone, that would be ideal. And you know, I don't think that's gonna happen, but it's not completely unprecedented. You know, there's other countries like, what is it, New Zealand or Australia, that just like completely banned guns or banned a certain type of gun. So it's not completely unprecedented, but I don't think it's gonna happen in the United States. How old will I be? I'm about to turn 37. I'm getting old, y'all. It does seem like right now in the MCU, they're trying to introduce a lot of new characters rather than spin off old characters. So if they do make a Wong show, it'll probably is going to be a while. You look healthy for 37. Well, I appreciate that. You're 31. Dope. Someone who owns what many would call too many guns, I can say without hesitation that I've never had an urge to shoot anyone, and I personally take safety very seriously. To me, people who say, oh, I'd be afraid of shooting somebody in rage or fear, is someone who either shouldn't own them or needs to take some courses on self-defense and learn more about them to make them more confident and understanding. To me, the more knowledge on the subject, the better for everyone. Well, yeah, I mean, if people are gonna have guns, 100% they should know how to use them. Like, to me, it's absolutely absurd that you can own a gun, that like you don't have to like take a class or something before you're allowed to own a gun. Like that's blows my mind that that's even a thing. I do think there's more to it than that, than just, you know, a personal responsibility. But I mean, if we're gonna have guns, that's like the bare minimum, I feel like. But you know, there's things like there's accidents, there's family members, being around certain people, and I'm not gonna talk about you specifically, but someone can be very fine one day and then not fine the next day. Someone can be of sound mind, in a good mood for years, and then just have a traumatic event and become depressed and suicidal. And next thing you know, they've got that gun there that they've had the whole time. So it's a little more complex than that. And I know those things can happen without guns as well, but with guns, it's just 100 times worse. You look more like you're 27. I appreciate that. I mean, I think, you know, I meme about getting older, but I don't really mind getting older, and I think I look fine. I don't mind how I look at my age, and I don't mind getting older. There are a few things about getting older that are not the best, like less energy. It's harder to, you know, like I'm trying to get a little bit in shape, and it's just harder to do now than it was before. Slower metabolism and all that. But overall, I'm down. But like I was saying before, I understand the position of there are some gun owners that are just completely wild, and I just feel kind of sad that they're allowed to have guns because they just say the most outlandish shit. But for the reasonable gun owners, I understand the position. And I think it's important to also realize that at least 80% of the reason that guns are so rampant and easy to get is specifically because of the gun lobby and the NRA and stuff. It's not like reflective of any like national opinion or it's like literally the people who make guns wanted more money, so they made it so they continuously pushed propaganda, and also they continuously blocked anything that seemed to restrict access to guns, including like they blocked the government from doing research and studies about guns, like so there's like, it's a literal conspiracy. I bet if you met me on stream, you would think I look like a 12-year-old. Really? I had a woman once tell me that after 25, it's all maintenance. I'd say after 35, but I'm a dude, so. I mean, I think I first started. Well, so a thing that happens when you get older is like sometimes your shit just hurts, like your back just randomly hurts, or you just like wake up with a headache for no reason, or like I don't know, like your knees are weak or something. And I think the very first time that happened to me was like when I was like 28 or something. And I was like, what the fuck? Why does my back hurt for no reason? Now it happens like all the time. But a lot of that is because of my lifestyle and stuff, and I'm trying to work on that by just, being more active and not sitting down all day as much. You might see behind me, I've got a fucking, wait, can you see it? I've got a Bowflex. You can kind of see it there in the background. So I'm trying to just like work out a little bit. $29. Honestly, I had a panic attack when I first turned 30. I think because I didn't feel like my life was on track at that age, and I kind of freaked out. But after that, it was fine. After that, I'm cool. And as a person who's about to turn 37, I can say without any hesitation that the 30s have been way better than the 20s. Not even close. And I suspect that the 40s are going to be better than the 30s, honestly. As long as I continue to, take care of myself. Yeah, the Bowflex commercials. This was my cousin gave this to me. They're really expensive. I don't think I would have ever bought one, but my cousin happened to have one and he gave it to me. I'll be 28 this year, and I can't believe it's almost 10 years since I was 18. I barely even remember what it's like to be 18, what it was like to be 18. Someone reminded me recently that I graduated high school 19 years ago. 19 years ago. That's a lot of years. I can't even conceive of 19 years. Like, has it really been that many years? That's crazy. Damn, you can just have your door open without caring. Oh, could you see my door when I move the camera? I mean, I don't know. I live in the apartment alone. There should be no reason why I should close the door. In fact, I think I would prefer to have it open, because if something's out there, I would like to be alerted to it as quickly as possible. My freak out was half my 20s. I'm ready to relax in my 30s. Fair enough. Yeah, a lot of people have that quote unquote quarter life crisis. I was chilling though in my 20s. I was just like partying all the time in my 20s, so I was just having fun. But it was a lot of nonsense and a lot of drama and a lot of bad behavior. So I wouldn't recommend it. Well, I absolutely would recommend partying in your 20s. Like, you should definitely have fun, but you should also do some productive things, like learn some skills. In fact, you should start that in your teens. Learn some skills, save money. 100%, please save money. If anyone in the stream is like in the early 20s or younger, please save money. That is my my advice to you. Even if it's like $5 a month, just save some money, put it in some kind of interest-bearing account, and when you hit 40, you will thank yourself so much. By all means, if you like have a job or something and you have like income and you have, you know, if you want to like use it for fun things, do that for sure. I know a lot of people don't have a lot of extra money to save, but I implore you, if you do have any, even if it's a few bucks, please save. But outside of that, learn some skills, try out different things, volunteer. Don't just, because literally all I did was fucking party in my 20s. And it was fun, but also it took me a long time. That's one of the reasons why I had a panic attack when I turned 30, because I had nothing going on in my life. So that's the message that I would like to send in this moment. Hey Kevin, what inspired you to do YouTube? Well, I just like making stuff, really. So, I mean, like growing up, I always would like making stuff. I used to like to draw a lot. When I got a computer, I would always like make like little websites and things like that. I made like a web comic for me and my friends. I just like making stuff. And when YouTube came out, it was literally just another opportunity to make stuff. That's literally the reason that I started making videos. And so there's the combination of enjoying making stuff and also being a person that has a lot of opinions. So the things that I would make would be me sharing my opinions on things. And over time, I noticed that there were people on YouTube who were kind of doing that sort of thing, but they had big audiences, or at least what looked like big audiences to me at the time. And then later it looked like, I noticed that, holy shit, some people literally do this for a living. And I was like, I want to do that. Like, I 100% want to do that. And so at some point, probably like 2010-ish, I just went hard on just making YouTube videos all the time and trying to improve and make them better and trying to figure out how to grow an audience and things of that nature. What's up, Boomer? What age you are and what age you look start to converge if you don't stay active. You don't want the latter to pass the former. Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to take better care of myself. That's another thing I didn't really do in my 20s, was take care of myself. But luckily, it matters less in your 20s. It depends, though. You know, it depends on the person. Some people are more genetically fortunate, I guess. I was never big into partying growing up. I mean, that's fine. It's not everybody's into it. I think that a lot of people don't do it because of anxiety and not necessarily because they wouldn't like it, but some people genuinely don't like it. But essentially, and when I say partying, I'm not saying you need to like rage and, you know, do a bunch of drugs and shit. Just do fun stuff, basically. Hang out with your friends, have fun, basically, is what I'm saying. Because I'm not saying you can't have fun when you're older, but you will have less opportunities because there are more responsibilities. So you should take advantage of and listen, it doesn't apply to everyone. Some people have to grow up really fast. Like, some people have kids when they're really young, and then all of a sudden you're like a 21-year-old with a kid, and there's not much partying you can do in that kind of situation. So, but if you have the opportunity, I think you should have fun with your life. You only get one of them. But again, do the smart stuff too. Save money, save money, save money, save money, save money. What kind of job did I have like when I turned 30? What was I doing then? I believe I was working in a call center at the time. It was either the call center. So I worked at in a call center, and then the job after that was I worked as a doorman at a bar. So it was one of those two things. My website that I have now is a really cool design. I appreciate that. I mean, it's very simple. I just want it to be very simplistic and easy to navigate. Visit other neighborhoods you might never have considered. Also listening to old school people at a diner or playing chess. The stories of their past helps our future. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good idea too. Dang, it's cool to see you creeping up on 300K. Yeah, we're getting there. I had a pretty good month last month. The Boy Meets World video I did was a surprise banger. I did not expect it to get 100K views because it's so different than what I normally do. But a lot of people liked it, and so got more views this month than I thought that I would get. Or would it be last month? I can't stand too much stimuli, people yelling and shouting and loud ass music. No way. Yeah, that's fine. There's many ways to have fun for sure. You know, go with your friends to the bookstore, have a little nice gathering with your people that you like. Go to the, I don't know, go bowling. I'm out of college and I live in the burbs. I don't know if these parties of which you speak. Parties are kind of whack. I'm not really even talking about parties. Like, well, like a get together, like a small get together with people that you know or people that are cool. That's fine. I wouldn't consider that a party. I used to go to bars and clubs a lot, which I know a lot of people don't like them because they're really loud and crowded and stuff. But that's similar to a party, I guess. But it's just a little more structured because it's like a place of business, I feel like. Parties, you never know what the hell's gonna happen at a party. You might walk into a room where a bunch of people are doing heroin or some shit if you go to a party. And to be fair, that could happen at a bar too, but that kind of stuff is usually frowned upon. This knows you have the same poster in your background as from your last apartment. Yep. I'm eventually gonna get some better art to decorate my apartment with, but right now I'm just using the same like posters and stuff that I have. These days you seem to be more on pop culture videos. Well, yeah, recently I've done a lot of that. But yeah, I'm essentially, I'm like branching out my channel basically. I mean, I just want to make videos about stuff that's interesting. I don't want to pigeonhole myself, and I think I did pigeonhole myself for a while. And the problem with doing that is you can run out of ideas related to this very narrow subject really quickly, and then you start just kind of like phoning it in, and I don't really want to do that. And in fact, I think there are a couple videos that I think weren't as high quality as they could be. Because I was just kind of like forcing it when it was something that I wasn't like super excited about. So I just want to make sure that I'm like actually excited about the videos that I'm making. And one of the reasons that I was doing that is because usually when I talk about different things, I just get less views, and that's kind of sad. But you know, the success of the Boy Meets World video kind of inspired me and made me realize that videos can still do well, even if they're not all about politics and stuff. All right, Impatient 8, thanks for dropping by. But you know, I just did a video about the Batman and it didn't really get that many views, so you know, you can't win them all, I guess. Wait. I made a video recently. Whoops. I was just looking at my channel. This old video I made about adopting kids outside of your race has been getting a lot of views recently. It got picked back up in the algorithm. I changed the thumbnail and maybe that's why, but it's like it's hit 100K views, which is dope. Would you rather need to shit every time you eat or need to eat whenever you start shitting? Well, clearly the first one, right? What the hell? Because I mean, that's almost what happens in real life. I mean, it's not every single time you eat, but eventually. Your chill vibe is much appreciated. Have you ever thought of making an ASMR video? Not really. I don't think that's my jam. I don't think I could do that while not being super self-conscious. Parties of 5-10 people, you at least kind of know over parties of 20 to 30 strangers. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I used to go to bars a lot, and there would be a lot of strangers in the bar. I don't really do that as much. And, you know, once COVID started, I obviously didn't go to bars for a long time. And that kind of like broke me out of wanting to do it much. But I like, I mean, I'm an extroverted person, and I like being social. I like socializing. I like meeting people. So I don't necessarily mind being around strangers. It just kind of depends on the vibe. And sometimes parties, depending on where it is, the vibe is just like not appealing. But a bar where just like people are just chilling and sitting down and having conversations, that's a cool vibe to me. Sure, it's loud and can be crowded, but it's still an opportunity to be social and meet people. But at the same time, like for example, my birthday's next week, and what I'm planning to do is get together a group of my closest friends and just hang out by the lake, and that's going to be super fun. People tend to be used to YouTubers doing a certain type of content. So when you make something new, all of a sudden viewers tend to be like, that's not what they use. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 100%. Jose did a video about Boy Meets World, which I did a spotlight. Yes. Jose and I planned to release our videos on the same day. That was planned. Word on the street is Will and Jada are getting divorced. Maybe so. I don't know. There's definitely something weird about that relationship. Thank you, Tiani. How long have I been growing my locks? About 12 years. But yeah, I just want to, basically I just want to be, I don't want to make a video that I'm not excited about. And sometimes I am excited about things other than politics and race relations and stuff. And sometimes I want to make videos about it. So I'm basically going to allow myself to do that more. And if they get less views, then that sucks. I'll just have to try to build a new group of people who are interested in that sort of thing, which is fine, I guess. But you know, the success of the Boy Meets World video gave me hope that it wouldn't be that difficult. Dude, I need to shave my mustache. I don't know, you know, how many of y'all have big mustaches, but I fucking hate when the hair touches my nose, and it's starting to do that now. And it's actually been a while since I've trimmed my mustache, which I usually am pretty consistent with keeping it trimmed, but for some reason I've been lazy about it. But it's now getting annoying. I hate when it touches my nose, and I also hate when it curls over my lip, and it's doing both of those things right now. I'm not a partier myself. I get my zen on the long distance range these days. The quiet alone time in nature with a friend or two at most. Slow controlled breaths, a single crack of rifle shot, a split second later the impact on the steel plate at some number of 100 yards away. There's nothing better. Yeah, I think that there are, I mean, like I was saying before, I speak as someone who's an extrovert. I know not everyone is an extrovert and being around a lot of people is draining to them, but it is the opposite for me. It's energizing for me. And that, you know, that kind of stuff seems very cliche, but it seems to be true in my case. Like, it literally is energizing for me to be around people. But I think there are social needs and then there's personal needs. So there's things that you do to fulfill your social needs, and I think that's different for people. But there's also things that you do for your own personal joy. All right, Myth, thanks for checking out the stream. Party by the Lake, that sounds like every 80s horror movie. I guess so. Do I use a straight razor? I do not. I just use an electric trimmer. I in fact have never used a razor. I don't really understand. I mean, I don't maybe I don't have enough facial hair or something, because my hair grows very patchy and not full, but I've never really understood why you would use a razor over a trimmer. I don't understand the point. Or like an electric razor. Why you would use a non-electric razor over an electric razor? I mean, I guess it gives a closer shave or something, but I'm not really trying to have a baby face. I'm not even sure if it's true that it gives a closer shave though, but I think that's maybe what people say. Also, is that a razor emoji? Is that a thing? Or is that just something that looks like a razor? There is a razor emoji. That's hilarious. Why is there a razor emoji? That's absolutely hilarious. So 2015, we wouldn't have expected that 7 years later there'd be a massive backlash against LGBT rights going on. I don't know if I don't think it would have surprised me in 2015. Before transition, I had a beard. The nose thing drove me nuts. Yeah, I hate it. It's like really annoying right now. I'm probably gonna trim my beard or my mustache as soon as the stream ends, which may happen soon. Actually, we'll see though. This goes to show that progress is not always continuous or inevitable, I suppose. Absolutely. I think that is one of the biggest lessons that people need to learn, particularly sort of like white liberals, is that progress is not inevitable. Progress happens when people work hard and fight. It doesn't just happen naturally. Razors are cheaper. I guess they are cheaper, but you have to buy a bunch of them. Well, I mean, I guess if you get a straight razor, you can reuse it. And if you don't have power all the time, yeah, I guess you do need power to use an electric razor. And yes, regular razors cut closer. But honestly, I don't really like shave my face in any sort of, like, I don't do a completely clean shaven look, so I'm not super worried about it being cutting closer. But yeah, I don't even know how to use a razor because I've never used one. I don't even know how that works. And I think my facial hair doesn't grow as fast or as much as a lot of other people's. "2022 me won't be surprised if I'm fighting bullshit 60 years from now, but I feel like I have no choice but to be optimistic." Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna live in a utopia. There's still gonna be issues, and I think there's still gonna be big issues. Here in America, I think, for example, I think Republicans have been, one of their strategies is trying to set things up so that they remain in power for decades and decades and decades, not just a very temporary thing, you know. Stacking the Supreme Court is a good example of that. And for example, if Roe v. Wade gets overturned, it's gonna take a minute for us to get that back, So it's things like that. But there's also going to be victories, and we have to make sure that we still keep trying. You always have really thoughtful takes. I appreciate that. What is an issue that you think is not talked about enough? Well, I don't know off the top of my head, but usually if I make a video, it's usually about something that I think is not talked about enough. So that's kind of a good way to answer that question, is like anything that I've made a video about, pretty much. I use a piece of glass. Avatar: The Last Airbender is an anime because it has a beach episode. Is that the criteria? A fringe issue that should be as primary an issue. I don't know if I can think of something. I mean, all this, I think, healthcare is sometimes a primary issue, but like, for example, right now, we're not really talking about it. And I still think it's like one of the biggest issues in the world, not even just in the country. I mean, I suppose, abortions and things are related to healthcare for sure, but just overall, like, access to healthcare is a thing that it's sad that we haven't solved that yet. It does seem, how many votes have we had? 66 votes. It's pretty close. 53% of people say that Avatar: The Last Airbender is not an anime. 47% say yes. I don't know if it's just me, but I don't see many South Asian commentary YouTubers. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of YouTubers that just don't get shown because YouTube the algorithm may not think that you're interested in that. I also don't know what language you speak. There may be many that just don't speak English, because that kind of seems unlikely to me, because South Asia, I think YouTube is pretty big in South Asia. Also, progress isn't linear and doesn't happen all at once. We have a lot to fight against. Absolutely. But, you know, we can acknowledge certain things and we can acknowledge that if Roe v. Wade gets overturned, we can acknowledge that that's a huge step back. That's backwards. And that sucks. And it's okay to acknowledge that. That's why it's important to note that progress is not inevitable. You may lose on some things. And I think that should just encourage people to continue to fight and continue to work hard and continue to try to figure this out. What's your play for climate change in your life? I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I mean, the most that I can do is try to vote for people that give a shit about climate change. Right now, Republicans are controlling the conversation, doing it very well. Yeah, Republicans are so much better than Democrats at politics. It's wild and it's sad. But a lot of the reason that they're so successful is because they kind of have no shame or no scruples. They're completely willing to play dirty, which Democrats are less willing to do, which it's like, do we want them to play dirty? I don't know, but that's kind of an issue. And also, you know, the Republicans have a massive propaganda machine behind them, and the Democrats have tried to do that with stuff like MSNBC and stuff, but it doesn't work as well. Like the target audience doesn't fall for the same stuff. 1000% on healthcare. Me, I wish we talked a lot more about minimal needs in that vein. People in Canada really wish we included mental, dental, and pharmaceutical in our healthcare. Also housing. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. When we're speaking practically, I think healthcare is a big thing that we need to talk about. You know, I mean, poverty is always a thing. Minimum wage, just ways to tackle poverty, basically. And not even to tackle poverty, but just like to increase the welfare of people. Down the line, there's a lot of things that I think we should, like, I personally advocate for the government guaranteeing everyone access to basic needs, including things like housing, food, water, things like that. And there's an argument as to what counts as basic need. Like, for example, is the internet a basic need? You can make an argument that it is. Is, you know, plumbing a basic need? You know, stuff like that we can argue about, but those are things that are less practical to talk about right now, I think, but in the United States at least. But things like healthcare, I think, are things that we can talk about right now. What's up, Dino DM? I'm heading to a show I'm about to play. Okay, cool. Good luck, I guess. Is it you playing music? Lindsey Graham is my senator and acknowledges global warming going to affect our state, but offered literally nothing and still wins by 20. Gerrymandering success. Yeah. It definitely have to do more than just acknowledge it. But I don't know. The issue is Republicans have done a decent job of, you know, garnering the support of a lot of Americans. So I mean, a lot of it is just going to, you know, people are going to have to figure out how to spread, you know, how to control the narrative as much as the Republicans have. We got to get better at storytelling. Do you think taxing the church would be a good step? I think money and religion should not be in our politics. I mean, I think that churches should be taxed just out of principle. I don't know if that's going to like massively increase. I mean, I'm sure someone has done a study, so I could be wrong, but it doesn't seem like it's going to massively increase the amount of money that's available to the government. But it's something that should be done out of principle because there's no reason that churches shouldn't be taxed. Literally no reason. Let me see. How much money? If churches pay taxes, it says that it's about 70 to 80 billion. Wait. Well, the federal, according to PolitiFact, the federal income tax revenue that would be generated by removing the tax exemption for churches would not be enough to reduce income tax rates for individuals to 3%, which is what someone claimed. The real cost of the federal income tax exemptions for churches and other exempt religious organizations is about 2.4 billion. So not that much in the long run. But they should still do it. Don't see how you can tax religious groups without inherently affecting one group more than another. How's that? How would it affect one group more than another? Legalizing weed and universal basic income are winning issues, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, I think that weed is going to become legal at some point. Probably soon. I doubt that Republicans would ever support universal basic income, though. The recent mainstreaming of great replacement rhetoric is extremely alarming to me. Yeah, I mean, you know, this is stuff that they've been talking about for years, but it's hitting a new peak these days. Now you dropped out of college, but which drawing class did you take when you were in college? I mean, I took several different art classes. I mean, I think I just took one that was just called drawing. I took drawing and I took some kind of visual, I forgot what it was called, 2D visual art or some shit. I took a design class as well. But as far as drawing goes, I think I just took drawing 101. I think that's what it was called. Every anime has a beach episode for fan service, so if Avatar: The Last Airbender isn't an anime, it's very anime inspired. Like, if you're taxing their property, some religious groups are based around buildings in churches or mosques, while others just meet in the woods. Well, I mean, is that not the same as taxing large businesses more than small businesses, or taxing rich people more than poor people? Isn't that how it should be? I heard the Church of Satan doesn't believe that the churches shouldn't pay taxes, so the Church of Satan pays their taxes. I didn't know that, but that seems like something that they would do. So I'm probably going to stream for about 15-20 more minutes and then go and end the stream. I'm gonna start on some work, probably do some chores, and then probably like play some Overwatch later or something. Church is being taxed as a political loser. Yeah, I mean, I doubt anyone would campaign on that, but I just feel like there's no good reason that they shouldn't be taxed. And it's sort of like a symbolic thing. Like, it just represents how Christianity still has a hold on politics in this country. Why did it go out of focus? Fuck. Hello? Can you see me? Jesus. I keep hearing this defeatist attitude on the left where we've already given up on the midterms as a lost cause, and I don't know how to counter it effectively. Vote, obviously, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like a lot of, especially people who are very left, I think a lot of them are kind of just waiting, if not hoping, for the system to just crash and burn. So like, they have no intention of actually trying to fix anything because they just want everything to crash and burn so that they can rebuild on top of that. But I don't really, that seems like a bad idea, a bad way to go about it. Republicans would support UBI only if it's in wealthy white straight male so-called Christian universe. But that's penalizing different religions based on their practices. Like, if you started taxing wine, Christians for communion would be affected differently than, say, Muslims. Well, yeah, but why is that bad? The government should not give a shit about religions. Just like if one business sold wine and another business didn't, the wine business would have to pay the wine tax and the other business wouldn't have to pay the wine tax. Why does the government care? Like, it's the same thing. A business shouldn't. The only way that this matters is if a business is trying, if the government is trying to be is trying to respect religion, which the argument is that the government shouldn't give a shit about religion. Like that's the whole problem. I mean, that's kind of why they don't have to pay taxes in the first place. Like under that logic, you would have to also say that the government shouldn't charge a company, or shouldn't tax a business that sells alcohol differently than a business that does sell alcohol. Why is this thing is can't find my face anymore? I think it's focusing on the poster for some reason. I think the difference of opinion is that is the reverence for religion. I'm arguing that there should be no reverence for religion, but it sounds like the argument being made is we should respect religious customs, and therefore they should one custom should not be more of a burden than another custom. But what I'm arguing is like the government doesn't give a shit about your customs. Like you're free to practice them, but the government shouldn't factor that into their decisions about how to tax you. But correct me if I'm wrong, that's not what the argument is. I mean, people might argue that it favors a specific religion, but but practically it doesn't, because it would be a consistent way of taxation that applies to everyone. But I'm sure people would argue that. Again, I don't think any politician, Democrat or Republican, would probably argue or would probably campaign on taxing churches, because it'd probably be pretty unpopular. I think that it would privilege one group over the other in specific ways, in the same way that certain taxes privilege certain businesses over other businesses, which I don't think is a problem in certain ways. Like, I mean, the alcohol thing, the wine/alcohol thing is a very good example. Businesses, I think in every state, but definitely in most states, businesses that want to sell alcohol have to jump through way more hoops and have to pay more taxes. So you could argue that the government is privileging businesses that don't sell alcohol over businesses that do, but that's fine. If the system were to collapse anytime soon, the left will not be the ones taking power in the wake of the collapse. Let it burn. To rebuild is a horrible idea. I mean, I agree, obviously. And I don't, you know, I don't want to put words into people's mouths, but I think if you ask these people, they probably wouldn't say that verbatim. But it sounds like that's kind of what it, like, that kind of sounds like that's kind of where we're going. I'm not really sure what the plan is. Except there's no establishment clause saying that the government can't discriminate between different businesses. I guess what I'm saying is that that clause is dumb, I guess ultimately that's what I'm saying. If the clause means that the government can't apply a consistent taxation policy across all groups, and religion is exempt for that, then I think that's dumb. Because it's not like, I can see if the government was specifically targeting a certain religion, but clearly that's not what we're talking about here. Like if the government applied a consistent taxation policy and people argued that the government was privileging a certain religion over another, that would be a disingenuous argument. Obviously, because it would be clear that the government is not specifically targeting anyone. So if the law has to be such that even if you are indirectly disadvantaged as a group, I don't know, that just seems weird to me. Because I mean, you could say that about anything, you know, like I don't know. Anyway, I understand the argument though. Don't get me wrong. But I am about to end the stream. And probably a lot of this is because I don't really sort of like, if I had more respect for religion, maybe I would have a different view, but I kind of have no reverence for religion whatsoever, so that probably paints my informs my thoughts about that sort of thing. But yeah. But thanks everyone for stopping by the stream. Thanks for chatting with me and hanging out and asking questions and stuff. Thanks for all the birthday wishes. As usual, I don't know when I'm gonna stream again. I always say I'm gonna try to stream more often, and then I usually don't do it. But I've been meaning to get back into the habit, and I've wanted to. YouTube, it seems like it's taking streaming more seriously. They've been like, they've been signing all these big streamers and stealing them away from Twitch, which I think is going to inspire them to improve the live streaming platform. So that might inspire me to stream more. So we'll see. But either way, the best way to know when I'm live is to click the notification bell, enable notifications, and YouTube should tell you when I'm live. And it'll also tell you when I release a new video, which is also good. And I don't release stuff that frequently, so it's not like it's gonna bug you every day. It's like once or twice a month. Maybe when I start streaming more, it'll be more often, but anyway, thanks again. Thanks for stopping by. And I guess that's it. If you do like these kinds of discussions and just want to have chill conversations with people, consider checking out my Discord. We have a very chill and friendly community. theonejander.com/discord. So that's if you would like to have more conversations of that nature, there's a good place to go. And that's probably the best place. Like, I'm pretty active on the Discord, especially in certain channels. So if you want to actually talk to me, that's probably the best way to do it. But also you can talk to the rest of the community. There's a lot of cool people. Anyway, that's it. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.